traders, and a warm welcome. This is Mike Hamilton for Trade the Easy Way. I hope you're enjoying your weekend, but let's get straight down to the charts. This is the free video, and the full membership video is going to be launched in the next 48 hours. I've dragged my feet on this, but it's imminent now. So for the free video, the last weekend free video, I wanted to start by looking at the Nasdaq. I think what happens in the Nasdaq, to me, is a major indication of the overall strength of the market. And what we're seeing with the Nasdaq is just a gentle loss of momentum. Busy week ahead. We've got Fed rates, Japan rates, and UK rates. So it's very busy. We've got US retail sales, I think, inflation, all sorts of figures coming out. Let me just run through the main charts I'm looking at. So what I'm seeing here is lost momentum. I've indicated this key line here because of the way in which we behaved around this point in 2015. We just gyrated around this and a lot of last year, and still, we've arrived at this point. So we ran up, we broke down, found some support, and here we are just playing with this, or toying with this level again. But overall, we've got a general loss of momentum. We've got a trend line right overhead, and we are in an apex. So this is decision time, in a time of the year when traditionally you see a lot of profit taking in stocks and sideways action and potential for increased volatility. So what do I think is going to happen? I think at this point in time, I think the US will not endeavour to raise rates because of the UK referendum. The UK referendum is really hanging over these markets. Markets do not like uncertainty, and the potential for the UK to come out of Europe is unnerving the markets. More on that in a minute. On Monday we wake up to a lot of Chinese data, so that's going to be key as well. So what I'm looking for is, I think the market will continue to dip in the first half of the week, and so I think we had 2 weeks of lower closes. We've had 3 tests of this trend line and failed. So I think any highs to be sold into, and I think we're going to come and test these moving averages down here. And if we get a bounce on the UK referendum, I'll still look to short somewhere around here to see if we can just wind our way down over the summer. Okay, so flicking across to, let's have a look at the Dow and the FTSE. So Dow just has hung on with a slightly higher close, and so I'm just going to continue to short the highs as I recommended last week, just to see if we can come down. We've got we've got a cross here, so I think at the very least we need to come and meet this 20-day moving average down here, and then we can see if we can bounce or if we're going to start to continue to fall. And let's look at the DAX and the FTSE. FTSE's got one of the worst weekly closes because of the potential Brexit, and so I will just continue to look to short. Let me update this fibs actually. Let me pull this fibs back a bit. Let's find a real nice low level. So you can see we've failed at this level, this fib level here. So any push into 61.50, I think is a potential short for a retest of 59.60. And at which point, if we can't hold here, then we are just going to wind ourselves down lower. It's a very similar story pretty much across most of the indices. We are failing at these resistance areas and seeing a lot of profit taking stocks, and therefore seeing lower levels. Okay, DAX is very similar, Now with the DAX, we haven't come in contact with this trend line. It's a very badly drawn trend line, so I will correct that. But that's 2 weeks of lower closes, really struggling. So anything up, any pullback into the 99.80, 2000 area is to be shorted. Right, Forex. Right, the most obvious currency to look at is the pound, given what's happening in the UK with the referendum. So here is the pound. I think the pound is a massive box since November 14. We created the bottom of the box in Feb this year, and typically in a box pattern you would see chop around in the box, but the potential failure point is around about the midway, and if you start to see it dropping off, then this box may, or at the very least, I suspect the bottom of this box is going to get tested, and that's 138.50. So Friday we saw a close underneath this main smaller range area from a high of 147.50, or to a new low now of what the main area was 144, and now we're obviously down here at 142.60. So I think you're pretty clear what I'm going to say. Any high now, it could 143.50 or ideally 144 is an area to get short on. So I think in the run up to the referendum we're going to be very choppy. We're going to see an increase in volatility. It may not see that level on Monday. Who knows? We may just gap down and continue to drop. But if you see any test of that in the week, particularly around the Fed day, sorry about that, any test of the 144 area is shortable. Be patient. Like I said, it may not happen on Monday. It may happen towards midweek, and then let's see if we can roll down and test that lower level. I'm not going to go into any more detail now. I've got a few other charts that I'm very, very interested in. I've got some fascinating weekly charts. I'm going to save that all for Monday night's Traders Roundtable and then launch that in more detail into the premium video. Alright, quick look at stocks before we go. This is a stock called 3i. So the ticker is III. If you look at this from high of 07 to its low in 2011, we are selling at, we tested the fib zone. This to me is the main fib zone. We've tested it and we're failing. So I would look to short anything into 560 to see if this can roll over. 3 tests of that area there, all failed so far, so I'm looking to see if this can roll over. I think it's a lot of UK stocks like it. Look for this chart pattern elsewhere. We can see UK retailers are struggling, even M&S. M&S is struggling. Any retest of 390 I think is to be shorted on M&S. Anything into 410. Even if we get a bounce on the referendum, I think these retailers are really struggling. The high street is not what it is, and I think it's a good candidate for a sell. Alright, more on this on Traders Roundtable, and log in on Monday as usual, and then all the details of membership will come out in the next 48 hours. Alright, thanks for listening, and enjoy what's left of your weekend. Bye for now.